What if I told you one of the biggest contributors to low testosterone aren't actually microplastics or a shitty diet? It's actually this, a mold called ZEA. Now, ZEA is an invisible mold which grows on grains when they are stored improperly. ZEA is tasteless and it's also, as I said, basically invisible. The problem is ZEA is classified as a phytoestrogen, basically a type of endocrine disruptor which is quote-unquote natural. Now, endocrine disruptor means basically a chemical which goes into your system and it disrupts your endocrine system. Now, endocrine means like basically hormones, right? So when you eat something which is covered in ZEA, which you wouldn't even know about, like bread, pasta, or anything which is made out of moldy grains, then you wouldn't even be able to taste it because it is invisible and, as I said, it's tasteless. So when you eat it, it's gonna disrupt your hormones because phytoestrogens, as the name implies, estrogen, which is the female hormone. So it goes into your body and it increases your estrogen, which is the female hormone. So these are some of the signs which you're gonna develop. For example, wider hips, a lower voice, more feminine features, less body hair, as well as the biggest ones, becoming infertile, not being able to have kids, low testosterone, shitty sperm count, shitty sperm mobility. Now, what is really interesting is I've actually never before seen a video on YouTube about ZEA or any other phytoestrogen, and I'm trying to change that. So click on my channel and you're gonna see more content like this. The reason why a lot of people wouldn't expect something like bread to be estrogenic is because compounds like ZEA cannot be tasted or observed. So this is why, for example, a lot of people nowadays know about dangers of microplastics or even EMFs, but nobody talks about this because you just wouldn't expect it, right? The same thing with other phytoestrogens such as smoking weed or lavender, right? You think these things are normal or even good for you in some cases. But what you gotta realize is they fuck up your system. They fuck up your hormones. Also, ZEA has been observed in milk, corn. Actually, being absorbed in milk is a good sign, and we'll get to this in a second. Now, the good news about ZEA and most phytoestrogens is that they are excreted out of the body very quickly. For example, by peeing or even through breast milk, which, isn't ideal for if you're having a baby, but it's good because it doesn't really stay in the body for a long period of time. Now, what are some ways that we can avoid ZEA in our diet? So the problem with ZEA is you cannot see it or you cannot taste it, as I said 1,000 times before already. And another problem with ZEA is that it's relatively heat stable, meaning baking or boiling it won't really destroy it, so it will stay in the food anyway. Like, for example, if you have some pasta which has been made out of these moldy grains and you boil them, or you cook the pasta, then the ZEA will still mostly remain in the pasta. So it will reduce a little percentage of it, but it will still mainly remain the same. So first things first, if you have homegrown grains, like if you're a farmer or something, make sure you store these grains properly for the general good. So keep the grain cool and dry. Make sure the container is airtight. And for the people at home, if you see something which is moldy, throw it out immediately. That's common sense, because the mold you see is not actually all of it, because that's just like the biggest part, but it's throughout the whole product. And this may not necessarily be ZEA, but just general advice. One thing you can do is don't rely heavily on grains for your carbohydrate intake. Switch it out for something like fruits, or even maybe some nightshades might be better in terms of estrogen, such as potatoes, sweet potatoes. Even though these do have some plant toxins in them because they're a nightshade, they still might be actually better for you than grains, which also can be moldy. As well as grains are seeds, so they're gonna naturally have a lot of phytic acid in them, which is not ideal, obviously, because it's a seed oil. The other negative health effects of seed oil, such as oxidation, or them making you basically allergic to the sun and whatnot. I wouldn't really eat grains anyway in the first place as much. And some people are gonna say that if you buy grains or bread from a big corporation, that it's gonna be way lower in ZEA because it is tested and it's a huge corporation, so they're gonna get sued. which, yes, that's partly true, but of course, the bread that you buy at the store is gonna have a million ingredients, a million preservatives. It's gonna be sprayed with atrazine, with a million herbicides. So I just wouldn't buy bread from the store, you know, that American fake one, because that is completely garbage. And as I said, I wouldn't really rely on grains as my main carbohydrate source, because I would rely on fruits and some other plants such as potatoes, sweet potatoes, stuff like that. Okay guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like the video, you subscribe, you comment, share for the algorithm, and I really hope you enjoyed this video, because I haven't really seen anyone on YouTube cover ZEA or even phytoestrogens. I think I'm the first person on YouTube to do this. So I would appreciate if you clicked on this video right here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.